Hey folks, good afternoon. This is Mandeep, your host, and today is April the 22nd, and I'll do another tutorial today. And I've gotten a couple of requests where people want to, figure out how to create a scan inside of the TOS scanner where they can find stocks that have hit their 52-week high, or within a certain percentage of their 52-week high. So clearly, the theory behind this is that if a stock is hitting its 52-week high, the likelihood is that it'll continue in the same direction in the near future as well. Clearly, there's no guarantee, as we all know, but just by scanning for stocks that are hitting their 52-week high, we also get a sense of which sectors are doing well. Now, clearly, the market has been fairly choppy over the last 2 months, and we were down about 34%. We recovered half of it. And now we are at a state where it's just going sideways, and which direction it goes, I have absolutely no idea. And as most of you know, who have watched my video, I don't try and predict the market. I just play the market, based on certain levels, and I play the market based on the ultimate technology signal, right? So whichever way the signal points, I go in that direction. And the reason for that is, the signal has been tested, and I've actually built it. It took me several years to build it, and I've done several revisions to it, and I have a lot of faith and confidence that it'll point me on either direction. So I take both long and short trades as the system suggests, because it's based on a lot of complexity that has been built inside it. Plus, it looks at several of the market indicators during that day in terms of what's happening with the advanced decline line, the how many issues are advancing, declining, and how much volume is flowing in issues that are advancing versus declining. But anyway, the goal here is to focus on stocks that are hitting 52-week high, and it's extremely easy to build this. You just without writing a single line of code. In the past, I've actually shown you some other videos where we create these scans where you can generate a scan without writing any code. But the most powerful feature of TOS clearly is when you can create certain scripts or use studies that are available to you and base some scans on those criteria. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get into it. So here's your standard scan. We can get rid of this and we'll start fresh. So we'll say just add a filter, and we look for a study filter here, and drill down on this and head over to the price performance, right? Under price performance, and as I said, there's a lot of hidden things inside of TOS. I wish they had explained it a little bit better in the documentation, but you have to otherwise browse through all of these to find out what you're looking for. But in this case, we are looking for near highs or lows, right? So you click on that, and it says this gives you the stocks that are within 3% of their 252 period high, right? You can pick low or you can pick high or low, and of course you can adjust these parameters as you deem appropriate for your style of trading, right? So you can say, give me all stocks that are within 10% of the 52-week high, right? So once you have this, you can run a scan, and you'll get a set of results. And well, the important thing and the powerful thing about TOS is you can further filter it based on what kind of stocks do you trade. So for example, certain people want to trade stocks only within the $10 to let's say $30 range, or some people want to trade penny stocks, or starting from $1 to a $10, and it's easy to filter those stocks, right? My personal preference, and just because the way I trade, I prefer stocks that have have a decent range, right? Which basically means there's at least 3 to 4 point movement between the high and the low. So that's what I prefer. Again, I will filter this based on the style that I like, the kind of stocks that I like. But I'll give you the base criteria, and then you can adjust it to your taste, right? So obviously, this is too many, right? I've got 157 stocks, so I'll add another filter. I'll add a stock filter, and let's say the minimum price needs to be 50, and we'll run another scan, and I still have too many. I have 72. Now I'll add a few other criteria. Let's add another study, and I'm looking for stocks that have a range of at least $3. Let's say it's greater than 3. Let's scan these. and it's got 39, which is not too bad. We'll add one other filter and just click on the study, and in this case we're looking for stocks that have an average volume of average volume over the last 30 days to be greater than 800,000. Okay, 800,000. All right, so let's click on that, hit a scan, and there you go. So we're left with 29 stocks, which is pretty reasonable. So again, very simple. Within 2 minutes, you've now got a scan of stocks that are hitting 52-week high, and this really should be on your radar. Now, what you can do is you can just save this query, and once the query is saved, it's going to be dynamic, and you will always see that in your watch list as you trade. But what I'll do is, for now, I'm just going to save it as a watch list, right? So I'll just save it as a watch list. Let's call this, so it's easy to find, 52-week high, and we'll look at some of these stocks, right? So now we'll go back and click here, and we'll go into my personal folders, and should be somewhere towards the end. And here we have, it's very easy, but in your case you'll just create it as a dynamic scan, because that's the way it should be, because I've already got it set up with a slightly different criteria. So just by clicking a few buttons, you basically have what you need, and this is really powerful, right? And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, you start to go through this, and you'll see a lot of sectors that are related to, let's say, pharmaceutical sectors. So you have J&J, you've got Eli Lilly, Veritex in that, and Regeneron. That absolutely makes sense given the pandemic that we are going through right now. There's a lot of rotation into the pharmaceutical sector, and for good reasons, because these are the ones that are at the forefront of finding a vaccine or a drug for COVID-19. But without getting into details of that, now we have this list, and currently what I have is a setup which I have that I for people who own the software that I've written, which is the Ultimate Trading Strategy. What we'll do is we'll take a look at how some of these stocks have actually performed over a period of time, and so it'll give us a sense. Now here's your 52-week high. So as you can see, this is within stone throw distance of the 52-week high, and we already got a buy a little bit earlier, and this trade that is currently still in flight is up by $4.48, right? So it's a trade that came on 4/8, and it's still kind of working. So let's look at CCI. That's up 491. I don't want to add this, but you can add it mentally if you want. So it's only $8. Here's another $3. That trade is up. Let's look at Citrix, assuming the system doesn't get too slow on us. So Citrix is another trade that came, and that's up $25, as you can see, and this trade hasn't closed yet, right? The signal will automatically close the trade. This is up $12.90. This is Digital Reality. This also is basically doing well because they provide infrastructure for companies that want to host their services in the cloud. So it makes sense as more and more companies do that. So that's up another $8. This is Documentum, which is up another. This is up $6. This is Domino's Pizza. Again, this has been doing well in this market because most of their services takeout service, so people are probably sick and tired of eating at home. So this has been doing well. This is related to Dexcom, is related to diabetes, I believe. And now here's another nice setup. The reason I like this setup is that it took out the 52-week high, and the interesting thing is you can note the volume. The day it took the 52-week high, it traded at a much higher volume, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to see, right? The days, because generally what happens is and there's people who were positioned here, right, who actually bought the stock at this level, and obviously underwater, right? As the stock went down, they were underwater. Now as soon as they get back to even, their goal is to essentially take their money out, right? They want to break even, be happy that at least they're not losing any money. So what you want to see is this if there's a resistance, it gets taken out with high volume. So this is pretty constructive. And the nice other part you can see is 1, 2, 3, 4 days it has stayed above, which is really positive as far as I see it. And the only reason to sell this stock would be if it starts to break this level back and does not reclaim it very quickly, right? So electronic arts has been doing well. A lot of the gaming stocks, because more and more as kids stay at home, they spend more time playing games. So that's another one. Clearly, you can see it took out the 52-week high, a little bit of a retracement back up. It's up $3.87. 5.9. This is again, it's up $13. We can look at a few more stocks. Franco Nevada, this just broke out, and also when it broke out, it also had some decent volume, so that's perfectly worth following. Insight, it's another pharmaceutical stock. Again, see how as it broke out, you've gained $14 already on the trade. IPHI, $6 on the trade. Johnson and Johnson, which I just entered today. I mean, June calls. My oftentimes will happen is that it doesn't break it immediately, because there's algorithm that starts, they're watching these levels, and again, people are buying and they're trying to get out of these, or try and sell those at this point. We have Eli Lilly up $9. We have Newmont Mining, which is a gold stock, right? Up $4.51. Okta, which provides security for the cloud, right? These are things that make sense in this market, up $13, right? Progressive Corp, that I've never traded before, but you're up $1 on that. QDEL, this is something that I traded today, up nicely. It's up $14 since the buy came. Regeneron is up $33. SBA Communication, this one's up $1.66. Again, I'm skipping a few. Thermo Fisher, again, this is making diagnostic equipment for hospitals right now, so that makes sense. Vive, which also is in the pharmaceutical software industry, they help you expedite with trials and so on and so forth. So it's up $27. VeriSign, again, providing security. That's up $12. And then Veritex is another drug stock. It's up $24. BinkSmart, and then finally Walmart, right? So add these all up, right, and they total like it's over $200 in profits, right? And you can see barely any or no losses, right? So that's how this list helps you out, right? And I'll show you a few trades that I took today. And like today was like a hard day to trade, mainly because of the fact that the market had gone up so much already. It had and I did nothing. I was like planning not to do anything, and then I just kept myself a little entertained. I'm trying to see. Yeah, these are all the trades I took, and I did not make more than $200 in any trade, right? But $30 here was like I was driving an Uber taxi, right? Just making a little money here, there, just keeping myself entertained through the day. And I had one small loss of $5, but I ended up at like $813 for the day, which is not bad. But like there are other days that you can do a lot better, and these are the kind of days I like, where you're averaging this kind of money using the system, because that's when you get true value. Here's another couple days back that I posted where you made about $3,000 in a couple trades. So if you add this up in a week, you can make sort of a decent cash flow, provided you stick to a system and you follow the rules, right? I mean, you don't get married to a stock. You take your loss as it comes, and don't stick to losses for too long. QDEL is a stock that as I said, I recently looked at, and I'll show it to you on the 15-minute chart. And here's the buy that came today, right? And I actually caught it a little too late, so I didn't make much money, but it made $855, and the total profit loss on these 25 trades, assuming you trade 100 stocks, is 2,314 stocks. Anyway, so this is how you find stocks that are in the 52-week high, or this is within 3.5% of 52-week high on either side, right? So hopefully this helps, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.